This seems like one we could go really big with. This is shapes.io and we're gonna make a colossal mess. You want circles? I'll give you more circles than you know what to do with. I know we only need 40, but sometimes more is more. Already creating a nice little backlog. Now to patiently let them build up. This has to be about 40 circles. Level 1 is complete, and that really annoys me because I didn't even get a chance to connect my circles yet. But yeah, I guess we hit 40 already. Today's video is sponsored, by the way, link in the description below. And I take a sponsorship as a personal challenge to see if I can break their game. But to start, we've got to cut the circles. We use a cutter, it cuts them in half, they come out as half circles. So I probably could have designed this all better, but there's a reason my videos take 80 hours to record. So we'll just undo some of our hard work so far. And realistically, we only need 40 half circles, so all of this was a little bit overkill to begin with. 3 cutters, level 2. This level gave you no reward. Well, that's where you're wrong. It gave me the reward of satisfaction. We can already upgrade our circle conveyor system 2 times speed because I want more circles. And this is what we built so far, but we do have all of this space to work with, so I think I could probably hurt my computer. Judging by the size of everything, I can definitely hurt my computer. We've graduated to corners, we need squares. Now I'm gonna drink coffee and wait because I want a splitter merger. Because we're already pretty tight for room. Is anyone going to acknowledge the fact I had a conveyor belt going backwards this entire time? 2 of them. We'll pretend that didn't happen, but we also need a cutter. And if I combine that cutter with a merger, we can get twice as many squares being cut in the same amount of room. So far so good, collecting half squares, the computer not struggling at all, neither is the game. But I'm still producing things at a pretty low rate. Now I need to turn the half circles to unlock the tunnel. Tunnel is going to be the key to my success. Judging by this, it turns things clockwise. So I'm going to need 3 of those to turn them the right way. This number should start going up. I can do math. It's not pretty, but it's functional, and it's only going to get so much worse. The challenge is always going to be a battle for room. I've got to try and jam as many things into as few conveyor belts as possible while turning them into the things they need to be. Which is where maneuvers like this come in handy because I can converge everything onto the cutter belt and overload the cutters, but down the road we're going to be able to take all that. And then using the tunnel, things don't have to be quite as much of a mess. Now we need quarter circles, so let's see what happens if we cut this one. We get the quarter circles, but they're pointed the wrong way. Turns out these ones are a little trickier because you got to cut them at the right time, then you've got to orient them the right way while splitting and merging everything. So now I just need to build about 80 of these to make the game happy. Mind the circles, cut them in half, spin them, cut them in half again, spin them again, spin them again. By the time they're there, they're what they need to be. This level was complicated enough that I have the luxury of by the time I figured it out, I was basically done. Now it wants 800 red circles. So let's go ahead and remove some of the old stuff and start giving us some color options. So that should have us with red circles. And good, they're nice and slow. I'm already having to get pretty creative with the tunnels. I feed under this conveyor belt, then go under this conveyor belt to feed this red thing. Same with right here. Mind the red color here, send it under, loop it back around so everything crisscrosses. We're gonna have to get creative at times. And I'm already running out of room on how to do this. I realized these color changers only work so quickly, so we could actually split these conveyors to run 2 of these off every conveyor, which looks something like this. Reds are getting split up, each going to their own coloring facility, along with the circles being split up, each going to their own coloring facility. And then they wind back together later on for extra circles. Confusing? Yes, I don't even understand it myself. While I'm waiting, we're gonna do more lower half circles because I want the challenge. Next on the agenda, half squares on the right side that are also blue. And to get blue, we've got to go way out here to one of these. So my factory is collecting half circles for the challenge, let's set up the blue square. And this is going to get complicated fast. I decided to finally be smart and just fit everything onto one conveyor. That way we'll just have one really busy conveyor constantly feeding for one thing. And that's as simple as all this. Now I just need to do that like 8 more times. I did get faster circle producing though, and if we get more squares we can get those faster, so that'll work on that. Because to get basic squares is very easy, so I might as well. Because I could use mergers to mine things crazy fast on very simple conveyors. Now we just gotta tie this second feeder back into the first one. Something like that. Now this one is producing at double capacity, and we're at almost 400 out of 1,000 already. And the game is still running fine. Zooming out, we're definitely getting a bigger structure, but I want like all of this. And we can mine faster squares now. And for some challenges, I'm either going to need purple circles or quarter circles. While I was working on my circles, we completed this one, so now I can mix colors. And I've got my quarter circle factory basically up and running, so we're going to collect a lot of those. Luckily for me, I need purple circles, and I can do those quite fast. And we're eventually going to feed those into here, we just need to get it set up. First of all, let's bring some red circles down. So there's our red circles. Seem to be meeting up with our blue color. I probably should have read the instructions because I'm supposed to mix the colors before they turn into the shapes. And there's that purple color I want. Then after a few tricky tunnels and merges, we have purple circles coming out. I definitely like building things some further away now because it gives me more room to correct my errors, like I'm all the way out to there now. This is one of those games that keeps me so crazy busy, always changing and upgrading things at the time is absolutely flying. And just like that, I've taken the time to double my purple circle production. And then I also added on here to my quarter circle factory to get those going more. But since we obviously have some extra purple dye, let's split this one off to make more circles. Now we need 10,000. I just finished the challenge, but we have faster than ever production. This is going to get so confusing so fast with all these tunnels going everywhere. But there's our new purple circles feeding in, and aren't they beautiful? We're racking those up at a pretty good rate. Everything's still running fine. I want to break something. I guess since we need so many of these to speed everything up, let's get more of these. We're going to get them from way down here where I have lots of room to screw around. I want to utilize like every one of these. While I was trying to set up my super factory, I unlocked something else, the balancer. It accepts 2 inputs and merges them into one. And I think these 4 full feeds of quarter circles should get us up to 10,000 very fast. But let's add just one more to make it an even 5. Look at all these merges. I expect this to be the busiest conveyor belt ever. I suspect it's going to run at that speed full time, which is pretty quick, I guess. I'm a little worried this is a bottleneck though, so I'm actually going to go like this and give it a second outlet. That way they're kind of spaced out at least. Both conveyors seems to still be moving at a pretty good capacity, but this way I'm sure that I'm getting all the circles I can be. And we're already up to 5.1. I was at 4,000 like 30 seconds ago, so this is going to work out just fine. Also, what are these and how do I do it? That actually makes sense. I can just mine them. We've just got to go a little bit further out to get some of this stuff. And then we carry those blue bad boys all the way over to here where they can finally start filling up because I need 1,600 of them. And we're almost up to 10,000 of these, so we'll be moving faster than ever before. My second blue star factory is up and running, so these will keep going for now. I'm going to go back to my challenges, get that set up. By the time that's done, I'm sure something else will be ready. Yeah, we're done this challenge. We went 25% overboard already before I even noticed. We do need 20,000 of these, so that's going to take a minute because they're producing a modest 1,000 per minute, just about. Also going to change my quarter circle factories into lower circle factories because I need those for upgrades. And that's a nice simplified design, but look at all those half circles. I only need another 2,000 more, and I'm producing them at about 400 per minute. That won't take long. I also need a basic 1,000 stars. And currently our operations look something like this. They're getting much bigger. Definitely want to get this one upgraded because I get faster belts, distributors, and tunnels. Which means upgrading this hull works, and that's not that hard to do because I've got lots of blue and red ink. Level 10. We can now combine things and stack them on top of each other. There's the first burst from my new purple circles because we're producing these faster than ever. And it's going to be a few minutes before I bother to set up whatever this is. And since everything else is flowing nicely, we kind of got to get to work on getting 20,000 of these, but also 15,000 of these still. How's this for efficient use of space? That's a whole bunch more purple circles feeding right onto the same conveyor belt to feed this guy. And we get faster cutting, rotating, and stacking, twice as fast now. And by happy coincidence, we're almost done with this one already. And to get more of the half squares, all we have to do is this. We take out the coloring part of these squares, they will be cut in half, they just won't turn blue. We don't need a ton of them, so I'm only going to do 1 in every 5 like we're doing, but that's going to add up pretty quick. And since these are apparently a little bit slower to mine, I'm actually going to go like this and combine them 2 onto 1 conveyor belt instead of 1 of these onto 2 conveyors. Let's make it 3 onto a single conveyor, because even then it's still not at capacity. Or 4 because it's a very simple solution when it's a basic shape without color. Those are now adding up pretty fast along with the purple circles, and these guys slowly. So far so good. We're producing a lot of different things very quickly. The computer's still fine and so is the game, so we can do better. Our half squares are done, so now we get 4 times speed for cutting, rotating, and stacking. Right, here's what I'm gonna do. For now, I'm not gonna chase whatever this is because I don't need to level up yet. What I need is 6 times speed for belts, distributors, tunnels, and extraction, so I need lots of these and lots of these. While I'm waiting for things to add up, I'm just making little improvements everywhere again to get more circles, more squares, more all of it. It's fun just to look back at the hub and watch it all start to pile in. I just realized I have a huge bottleneck in my system, not so much up here but down here because I wasn't producing circles fast enough because I was splitting them right away. Now they're gonna keep up with the purple production. I just reconfigured this entire lower area to make purple circles, so we'll be done in no time. Because now they're coming in from 2 sides and we only need another 200, so we could probably sit here and watch it count down because they're going that fast. And there it is, 6 times upgrade, and we need 40,000 of these things if we want to do this. Plus 35,000 of these, so I'm all for this. And somehow it is 2,000 regular circles. That's the easiest thing in the world, because I can just feed a bunch of these basic circles straight into here super fast. Like by the time I've even got this set up, I've got another 1,200 in. And since I need a lot of purple circles and I currently have more purple dye than I know what to do with, we'll keep going with this setup. Basically, I'm going to split every circle conveyor into 2 circular conveyors because that'll be much more efficient. As per usual, it's all just a challenge of trying to make it all thread together, but I'm the master at organizing things, so this is no problem at all. So by the time I have this set up, I'm up to 4,000 40,000 purple circles already, so that won't take too long to do, because I'm pretty happy with the amount of those flowing in. These light blue stars though, we need a lot more than that. We have lots of stars over here, and we have green and blue right here, so let's go big with this one. I'm thinking 10 of these mixers making light blue, all fed by their own individual color thing. Of course, I didn't really think this part through, so it's going to be more of a challenge than it should be. After much trial and error, I've done it. I've actually got 10 color mixers all side by side, all touching. It just took a lot of tunnels and organizing. Now all I need to do is figure out how to do 10 of these things. 10 of those look something like that. The color part of this is actually pretty easy because I've got them set up so organized for once. So they're all getting primed with light blue. We're gonna have no shortage of that. Now I just gotta figure out a way to get them all fed, and I put these all too close together. So I'm just gonna space them out right now. It's gonna be way easier to do it this way. Alright, all 10 of them are now being fed their color. Now I just need to get the stars to them. Alright, I've got them all connected up. Now I just need to give them all an outflow, a nice even outflow for them to get to where they're going. And this is now all 10 of my feeds fed into one conveyor. I just gotta connect it back to the hub and see how it can handle it. And there it is. It's beautiful. I might have to add a second conveyor because that's a lot of stars going in a real big hurry. So that's slowly climbing up. It's at 1.2 thousand a minute, up with the circles that are also at 1200 per minute. We are getting a slight jam up here, so I'm going to add a second conveyor. I've got room for it anyway. That probably won't make a huge difference, but it will make a little one. We're definitely producing more color than we know what to do with, and I have a dead conveyor I didn't notice. But thanks to a little bit of wizardry, we can send some blue that way, and that's going to make up for it. Any second now we'll see blue feeding right here. And there we go. It's like nothing ever happened. 1300 per minute. Definitely tempted to split some of these up to get double the capacity. Let's start with one to see how hard it's going to be to do this. That one wasn't so bad, so I could probably do this as long as I have a bit of space. Yeah, this won't actually be too bad at all. I left myself enough room everywhere that I can make this work. We're up to 1400 per minute and it's climbing. This all seems to be running really nicely, so I'm going to focus on circles again for a minute. We're getting closer to our goals for both, but I could always use more circles, especially because we're going to need a lot of circles here anyways, plus the stars. Since we're getting close, we'll only do about 5 of these. If there's our 5 colors, we can actually split these into 2. I'm going to actually make 10 of these still because I can split everything, but I'm going to space them out kind of like that. Okay, this is perfect. I got enough of my blue stars now that my extraction speed is now 6 times. I need 40,000 of whatever these are to get to the next step, which is 8 times speed, but look how fast these are adding up. Once you start to see all the shapes and colors in nice patterns, it gets very satisfying to mess with this. Anyways, now it's just a matter of feeding all the purples into that and then feeding it to my home base, which is somewhere way up there. Here's my old purple flow. Here's my new one. Too many to count, but we're going pretty quick on purples now, which is pretty cool because we're just in time to have already passed our goal. So everything I just did was a complete waste. But if I need more circles in the future, I certainly know where to find them. I guess we're going back to light blue stars. We're producing these in particular at 762 per minute currently. Overall, we're doing 1.7 thousand stars. So if I could convert more of those into light blue, we'd be getting somewhere. Already, our whole operation is getting pretty big though. Imagine what it would look like if all of these lanes were completely jammed full. This took some time to add in another blue star stream, and the game is still running pretty good. Every once in a while now it does stutter just a little bit, so I'm going to consider that a victory for now. Because I did manage to create all of this, and I still want to go so much bigger with this one. But for now, I'm just going to sit back and watch the shapes do their thing. Link in the description below. And in case you're curious as to how many pieces of conveyor I laid just today, 5,700. And this game is somehow only $4 on Steam. That's a lot of entertainment for $4 small. I wonder why they call it shapes.io.